Hey, everybody. You are about to hear a brief retelling of the movie Deep Water. Before we get started, hit the like button and subscribe. It may only be a click for you, but it has a significant impact on the channel. The movie begins with Vic, a man whose daily routine includes returning home from a bicycle ride. His wife, Melinda, waits for him outside their house, her face filled with curiosity as she watches him arrive. Their young girl, engrossed in her favorite song, receives her mother's furious reprimand. Vic goes indoors, where Melinda quickly enlists his assistance in choosing an outfit for her. Later, Melinda insists that Vic fetch her black shoes, which he eagerly does, displaying his readiness to comply with her wants. Their relationships are characterized by an obedience dynamic. They go to a party together, where they talk to their friends and drink beer. Despite the social setting, Vic remains attentive to his wife, exemplifying loyal commitment in their relationship. Melinda sees her old buddy Joe and begins to interact with him. This is observed by his husband, Vic. It does not take long for Melinda to take his friend into private space and begin kissing him. Vic knows what's going on. Even when they catch one another's sights, Melinda continues to indulge in her fantasy. When that wasn't enough, Melinda started dancing on top of a piano to get everyone's attention. Soon later, she begins to play the piano, making everyone happy. Despite her strange behavior, Vic smiles at her as if nothing has happened. Later that evening, Joe expresses his gratitude to Vic for allowing him to spend time with Melinda, Vic's wife. In response, Vic cryptically references a missing individual named Martin McRae, implying Joe's involvement in his disappearance. Although Joe initially interprets Vic's words as jest, Vic solemnly warns him of the consequences should he persist in his actions. Joe departs shortly thereafter, leaving Vic to ponder the implications of their conversation. Meanwhile, Melinda shows her disapproval of Vic's behavior toward Joe, indicating a strained relationship. Later that night, while Vic is talking with the babysitter, Melinda enters the kitchen without a shirt, which Vic considers indecent. His attempts to persuade her only make her angrier, exposing Melinda's contempt for societal conventions and self-centered personality. Through these occurrences, parts of Melinda's character emerge, showing her as irresponsible and selfish. In addition to his unusual interest of raising snails as pets, Vic's social circle throws light on the consequences of his encounter with Joe. Learning that his friends are aware of Vic's confrontation with Joe over the Martin McRae joke, Vic realizes the extent to which his actions have been scrutinized. Moreover, his friends characterize Melinda as unwell for her brazen behavior in front of Vic, indicating a deeper concern within their relationship. Upon returning home, Melinda confronts Vic about the situation and insists that he apologize to Joe. She extends an olive branch by inviting Joe over for dinner on Friday night. When Joe arrives, Vic greets him nervously and humorously claims that Melinda isn't home, adding to the tension of the encounter. As the evening progresses, Vic plans to serve seafood, unaware of Joe's allergy, a fact Melinda deliberately withheld from him. Despite this oversight, Vic adapts to the situation by preparing a grilled cheese sandwich for Joe. Melinda's subtle provocation becomes evident as she joins in, subtly challenging her husband's authority. These events highlight the complexities of Vic and Melinda's relationship, exposing underlying conflicts and power imbalances. She instructs Vic to take her daughter to bed and deliver her bedtime stories. Vic subsequently runs upon Melinda and Joe enjoying fun together after telling them a bedtime story. Later, Joe expects Vic to apologize for joking with him about killing Martin McRae. Vic responds by calling him an Uber and stating that this was not a joke. Vic and Melinda are sitting at a party one day, conversing with a writer. He refers to him as a killer and makes jokes about Martin McRae. Vic also dances with another woman, making Melinda envious, and later compares herself to the women. She also tries to engage in activities with Vic while he is driving. Later, Vic and Melinda are watching their daughter play. He received a call from his bank regarding Melinda's bank account. He discovers that she sent $3,000 to someone who plays the piano and begins to investigate this individual more. He ends up with a person who is both an amazing pianist and exceedingly attractive. Right there, he notices Melinda flirting with him. Vic greets Melinda at night and inquires as to her whereabouts. She seemed to have been drinking heavily. As he was driving his daughter home, he sees the pianist again, this time walking with flowers. Those flowers were sitting in his home on the same day. He is once again concerned about his wife Melinda having an affair behind his back. He is mostly home, while his wife is working hard getting smashed by the pianist outside. Vic confronts her for her acts of not coming home for the whole night and using his money to cheat on him. Despite Vic's efforts, Melinda remains unabashedly self-absorbed, showing little regard for his feelings. In a heartless confession, she boasts to Vic about her passionate encounters with the pianist. The following week, Melinda audaciously invites the pianist to their party, where Vic uncomfortably greets him, unaware of the impending tragedy. Once again, Vic witnesses his wife engaging intimately with another man, revealing Melinda's careless disregard for their marriage. As rain begins to fall, guests retreat indoors to continue the festivities. However, the atmosphere shifts dramatically when Melinda discovers the pianist's lifeless body floating in the pool. Her screams pierce the air, prompting a frantic rush to rescue the fallen musician. Despite the desperate attempts to revive him, their efforts prove futile, leaving a somber mood hanging over the once celebratory gathering. Melinda's reckless behavior ultimately leads to a devastating outcome, forcing Vic to confront the harsh reality of his tumultuous marriage. As the police investigation unfolds, Melinda shockingly turns the tables on her husband, accusing Vic of the murder. While Vic cooperates with the authorities, their questioning yields no incriminating evidence. However, the tension between Vic and Melinda escalates as they confront the accusations and their crumbling relationship. Haunted by disturbing visions of Melinda with another man and flashes of the tragic incident, Vic grapples with the weight of guilt and suspicion. In a moment of vulnerability, he confronts Melinda, questioning if she fears him. Her chilling response reveals her twisted perception, blaming Vic for their predicament. Meanwhile, Vic's paranoia intensifies, manifesting in vivid hallucinations during his solitary bicycle rides. The specter of Melinda's infidelity and the unresolved trauma of the incident torment his thoughts. Despite their strained dynamic, Vic and Melinda attempt to maintain a semblance of normalcy by hosting dinner parties for their friends. However, Vic's growing mistrust surfaces as he urges his friend to refrain from spreading rumors about him being a killer. Their interactions become increasingly fraught as Vic grapples with his suspicions and Melinda's betrayal, setting the stage for a tense and precarious confrontation. One day Vic was walking casually and he suddenly sees a bunch of cameras in his wife's car. He sees his wife sitting with a man who calls himself a psychologist. Later, Vic confides in the wife of his friend, disclosing the unsettling revelation that he and Melinda hired a private detective to investigate their friend's husband. This revelation ignites a heated argument between the couple, further straining their already fragile relationship. As Vic delves deeper into his suspicions, he discovers evidence suggesting Melinda's involvement with yet another man. The tension escalates when Melinda's friend Tony pays a visit. Upon Tony's arrival, Melinda embraces him intimately, revealing intimate details about their past relationship, much to Vic's dismay. Tony's embarrassed reaction hints at a shared history between him and Melinda, leaving Vic feeling unsettled. Despite the awkward encounter, the evening progresses with food and music, but soon takes a turn when Melinda and Tony engage in inappropriate dancing in Vic's presence. Vic's discomfort intensifies as he witnesses them heading upstairs to his bedroom, where he catches them exchanging suggestive glances. In the following days, Vic orchestrates a plan involving Tony, leading him to believe that Melinda wishes to meet him. He lures Tony into his Jeep and drives him to a remote location far from the city, setting the stage for a confrontation or revelation. The unfolding events hint at Vic's growing disillusionment with his marriage and his determination to confront the truth about Melinda's infidelity. He repeatedly queries him about Melinda and his dating past. After they get out of the car, he picks up a heavy rock and throws it at him. Vic doesn't take long to end his life. Right after that, he places a huge boulder on his body and drowns him in the sea so no one can see him. Following the incident, he returns home joyfully. The next day, Vic and Melinda go on a picnic to the same remote location that Vic had taken Tony. As they spend time together, Vic unintentionally notices Tony's body lying in the river, a somber reminder of his recent deeds. That night, the revelation of Melinda's communication with another man named Don further strains their already troubled relationship. Melinda invites Vic to sleep in her room, confessing her love for him in a moment of vulnerability. Determined to rectify his past mistakes, Vic returns to the scene of Tony's death the next day. However, Melinda stumbles upon Tony's wallet at Vic's workplace, raising suspicions about his involvement. As Vic attempts to dispose of Tony's body in the river, he is interrupted by the arrival of an old man. Questioned about his actions, Vic is startled when a hand emerges from the river, indicating Tony's presence. In a panic, the old man flees, prompting Vic to pursue him on his bicycle. The pursuit culminates in a tragic accident involving the old man. Returning home, Vic is confronted with a sense of déjà vu as the opening scene of the movie is mirrored. Melinda, revealing her dark side, burns Tony's ID and chooses not to involve the police. With this chilling act, the movie concludes, leaving viewers to contemplate the repercussions of Vic and Melinda's actions.